Hello. I'm doing a short VOD review of FPX versus G2 final of Worlds 2019 game one. So I'm just this is not a full VOD review. This is just a short version of it. It's more of a how would I coach if I was in G2's team, and how could we fix what problems we had, and how could we improve as a team. So let's just get straight into it. Actually, before we go straight into it, I'm just going to break it down into how I would be coaching. So there's four parts in my there's four parts. There's early game, mid game, late game, and draft. Okay, so um, draft is the easiest thing you can fix. So like obviously this game G2 last pick Pike, and from this game Pike did not have that much impact in early game, and the idea from G2 was Norlis doesn't have a lot of mobility, and Pike would get his Q off onto Nautilus, and Elise comes and just kill Nautilus before he can start roaming. But that did not happen quite successfully in G2's mind. This Nautilus just got a free push and just roamed around and just went up topside. And we also need to talk about G2's win condition. Okay, so G2's win condition is Rise. He Rise versus Gangplank is a known matchup. Rise wins very hard, and it's very hard for Gangplank to survive in a lane. And if Rise is in a comfortable 1v1 scenario from start to finish, Rise should be able to hard carry this game, and there's not many tools that FPX can do to make a play. Also, another win condition that can come from G2 is they have bot priority. They have bot priority with Varus Time Catch, very strong 2v2 laner, and they will get priority, and they can start staking up dragons coming from with the bot lane priority. So that's something that we would like to see coming from G2. And yeah, so the draft is the easiest part. Maybe next time when I'm talking to my mid laner, hey, what would you like to play into mid Nautilus? Mid Nautilus gets a lot of push. He's very tanky. It's very hard to wear him down. We saw Rookie had to deal with it, and he played Lucian, he played Jace, he played Syndra. None of those really had a big impact except for Syndra in my eyes. So maybe if G2 wanted to go for Syndra pick. They also need to change the Elise pick. Then yeah, it really comes down to what the players want, and I'm here to discuss with the players how we could make the drafting better. That's very easy and done said, because we can just fix it next time. So that's it. So personally, if I could have given my jungler priority pick, and we could have AP mid, not Pike mid. But this is G2 we're talking about. They really love their Pike. So, but yeah. So next is the early game. So early game, we obviously know that something did happen at level 1. So we need to see what exactly happened at level 1, because level 1 was very impactful in the game. So we're just gonna dive right into it. Let's put it on 1.5 speed. Yep. So, like I said earlier, we want this Rise to be in a most comfortable state. So, as we see, Rise gets chunked to about half health. Now, this is really bad because Rise has a corrupting potion, and he wants to use that corrupting potion to trade with the Gangplank. Yes, it only does 10 damage per uh, like round of corrupting pot, but he still needs the health to trade with Gangplank and the minions. And Gangplank will obviously try and fight back, but the Rise's kit is so good that he can outtrade Gangplank and push him under tower, and he gets a lot of priority from it. So this was a number one mistake coming from G2. So we're just going to watch this in 1 time speed actually. So what should Rise have been doing? Okay, so we know that we're making a play. G2's making a play at bot side. So there's no one except for Elise Ward, we have a pressure down bottom, so Rise has to be careful whatever is expecting. I think Rise, he reacted to this play too slowly. He should have warded and just get out of there, and maybe he would have gotten a Gangplank Q, but that's okay. He can regen through that. So that'll translate to what Rise's that is all about. So yeah. So he gets chunked to half health. The map is split. Then Elise does her red buff, and she gets her Krugs actually kind of stopped. Okay, so this is another tempo loss for Elise. So maybe we could have put a ward here, another ward, so he can secure this uh, golem, or Tamkench and Varus could have played a lot more aggressive. This VOD, this quick review could have been a lot would be a lot easier if I had a spectator uh, client, but we should Varus and Tamkin should have pressured the Sivir more, and Tamkin should have hovered over to Thresh a lot more, so Elise could have got to this crowd. Because the fact that she didn't get this, it will all translate into what happens next, like in the next minute or so. Okay, so just gonna fast forward. Not much happens. So FPX gets the priority, and they know they have to push this in, and they want to get this Rise dived in. So these are the kind of play that we want to see. We want this is a very good trade coming from Wanda. He's focusing onto the Gangplank, whereas the minion, because if he focuses onto the Gangplank and gets Gangplank low enough HP, the dive will become very iffy, and it'll be very hard for FPX to dive, and maybe some accident might happen from their hand. So gonna play it, and Elise is still bot side, so we already know that. And Rice goes for another trade. Now notice that Rice only had one potion when he went for it. So this is a very good trade. This is a very good trade. But like I said, now he has no potions left. Okay, if he had more potions, he could have been on 90% HP. So it all relates back to a level 1 play. So next time we if we are making a player bot, we could be as soon as Gangplank shows Rise, he needs to put the ward down and just get out of there. Also, it's also very important that he himself is one of the win condition coming from G2, so we need to make sure he is in a most healthy state even through at level 1. So even if we're not making that play next time, just ward and get out, because just think about it. Gangplank versus Rise, you win. If Gangplank comes to face check you, there is going to be something fishy. There might even be a Thresh and Nautilus there. Who knows? Okay, so next time, just ward and just get out. That's the best case. Okay, and obviously, this is all micro, so it's very hard. The player themselves would know what he could be doing better next time. So obviously, like, he could be a lot more healthier, and yeah, this isn't something that I would personally review with my player, because it's something that you should be skimming over really quickly. But if they do want to talk about it, obviously the big one would be the Pike Q missing over at this instance. Yep, over here, and the Rise is already dead. Okay, so it could have been 1 for 1 if Pike got his Q off, but it is just unfortunate. But yeah, so how do we? So let's just cap on how we could have prevent this dive from happening. So number one, Rice needs to be a lot more healthy at level 1. So he lost 2 potion prior coming to the dive, so that's really big. The map was split, so can Rise at least stop Gangplank and Lee Sin from invading? So what's going to happen is if we do start red and have a leash, they're going to late invade, and both team aren't going to hit the camp, because whoever hits the camp loses. And Norlis gets a mega priority against Pike, so he's going to push and start coming to help FPX, and they'll probably get the red buff. So we have to realize what FPX could be doing. Also, if Elise starts blue, she's always going to pass through topside, and there's always going to be a fight. And Norlis just needs to watch out for Norlis priority. Okay, so that's something we got to keep this rise alive, and that's the mistake that G2 has been made this game. And obviously, next part is yes, we're capitalizing what any advantage we can get. Um, this is a very good blue take, and yeah, he doesn't need to see the replay. And here's the another one. Okay, so um, Elise is coming mid to get priority for Pike. So if Elise didn't come to mid, maybe Norlis could have pushed for free, and he would have gone for another gank onto this Rise that's pushing, because this Rise needs to get this wave pushed in. Okay. So this needs to be a lot more communication between both laners and the junglers, because right now uh, Rise's Rise's lane is pushed, but we don't know if this is warded, and this Lee Sin played it really well, that he would jump, but Wanda needs to realize that he can wood jump next time, and just need to play around where his jungler is. He should be going around and be more mindful of it, because him not dying is the most important thing. He could either go this way, or he could just sit here until Elise comes. And yeah, Rice dies again. But yeah, and he doesn't have TP again, and this is pretty bad for Rice. But he is still up in CS a bit. But yeah, and another thing that I could be touching on is that despite Thresh roaming a lot, bot lane should be putting a lot more pressure into bot, but they are Varus and Tarmkit, so it is very hard for them to do a lot more than they could be doing. Okay. So Elise had to cover for Rise. So, but yeah, just going back, Rise and Elise needs to communicate a lot more, so that is your wave pushing in, what your wave state is like, and yeah. But also Elise needs to communicate with Pike. Does he get the priority? What's your priority like? Can we go for this kill? Because that's the original plan. Uh, that's the original plan that Elise and Pike made in order for them to that's the reason why they picked this draft. Okay, so right now, yeah, even though Rise died twice, it's still fine, but it would have been a lot better if Rise didn't die, obviously. Okay. Yep, and I guess I just skimmed through it, but yeah, this is a very good play. It just means like we're playing through our wind condition, so this is very nicely done. So this is pretty much the early game that happened in the game, and uh, so just going back, play through our wind condition, play through what we have, and need to talk about mid priority. If Pike was not a good pick, we can just change it. But the plan is we need to get this Rise in a comfortable state, and the level 1 is where it all kind of snowballed. And the next big early game is at the Herald. So this is just a result of Pike not having a push pressure. So yeah, it all stacks up. So there's no point of, oh, you could have done this, you could have done that. No, it's just a result of what happened early. Okay. Yep. And just gonna skip through the Rift Herald area. Okay. So that's another big impactful area. Oh yeah. But yeah, I guess if we do go back, oh no. Yeah. So going through here, so yes, we the bot lane priority is there, but obviously the dragon is not up. So yeah. Yep. Nice kill. Yep, so now we're going for a Herald fight. So this is a very good decision coming from G2 because our comp wants to fight, and yes, we could potentially win a 5v5 here. So my general rule of Rift Herald, if you do a swapping, you guys need to talk about, can we win this Herald fight 5v5, 4v4, or yeah. So just keep talking about if you guys can fight. Make sure you call out which ult you guys have, and make sure you also know what kind of ultimate they have. So this is a very nice trade. So Gangplank ult down, Nautilus ult down, and no Pike ult. Okay, so that's it. It's finished. Okay. Us using Varus ult was pretty bad. Okay, but still, it is what it is. It could have been a lot better, but yeah. So next mistake is when Varus dies. Okay. So we get this priority. We still get priority through a bot, and this is really good for G2 because the point of interest for both teams is the Herald. There's not much because Ocean Dragon at 12 minutes into the game, there's not much value into it. And if they do go for it, we can take the Herald and we can steam through. We can drop Herald top and we can start steam through top side, and maybe we could take two turrets, and they're gonna take Ocean, but it's okay because uh, Rice can just farm the jungle, or he can still he can probably survive 1v1 1v2 dive as well, because he is that much he's not as far as we thought. Okay, so and trading for Ocean and getting this Varus ahead is very good as well. So next problem that yep, so as soon as we have priority, we should be going for vision. Okay, so push this and we get vision, and we can perhaps start hitting Herald, because we do have Elise, we do have Pike, so we have this vision set up, and we can hit Herald, and they have to come into us, face check, and we can potentially blow someone. Or we can just wait for Pike and Verisalt and go from there. But they are also a very ult reliant heavy team, so we need to watch out for that as well, because Pike and Elise does not have an ultimate. Remember that, okay? So here's the mistake. Varus going for like a cheeky trade. Make Next time, just make sure if you are doing that, you need to call for where your teammate is, because when the position you were in, you were too far away from your team. Okay, so Tom Kitchen needs to be here, Elise needs to be here, just backing you up. Okay, which results in 1-0-0 Varus dying. So that is one of the win condition, and Sivir getting a kill. Okay. And yeah, Nautilus did have TP, so yeah, so need to check if the Nautilus has TP or not. Okay. Yep, and see the Rise versus Gangplank. Rise is in a very good position right now. He has two deaths, but he still gets priority. Okay, so this is the win condition that we're talking about. Just a mistake. Okay. But pretty crucial mistake. So next time, just call your teammates. Yep, just some random fight, okay? And uh, this is a very good play. Um, so yeah, now we're going for a Rift Herald. So they essentially FPX opted into switching sides, okay? So as soon as Rise gets this, get this wave. He just needs to get out. After this wave, he just needs to get out of here, because we know we're getting something out of it. Okay, so it's just something basic, and just I'm just touching on, like, we should be respecting the opponent's opposite side of the play. We have all our numbers topside, so we just need to back off and probably recall back here. Okay, and make sure we take our own camps, because that's extra gold, extra experience that you could be having. Okay. and Rice dies once again, okay, which is pretty bad, okay. So um, the whole point of doing this review is like how we can improve and how we can fix this problem of ours, okay. Yep, and Rift Herald gets a charge. Yep, and yeah, so now Rise is in a long lane. It really doesn't matter because as long as Rise is in a 1v1 scenario, he's still fine, okay? But dying is still bad, okay? Dying is bad. Yep, make sure you don't go to unwatered territory. Make sure you see where your teammates is. Yep. Yep, and the Thresh dies here. So this was a really nice play from you from G2, okay? Using the vision and just getting a pick, and this is really crucial because we have global coming from Tom Kench. As soon as we push the mid tower, we should be getting big mid priority and start pressuring the side. Okay, but the thing is, we can't really play around Pike and Tom Kench ult to Pike because it's both mid laners aren't really going to do that much, like on the side lane. They just want to group. So yes, we can start utilizing our side wave with Rise and Tom Kench, so we could be looking to use that more, okay? And we should be focusing on mid wave, mid priority a lot more this game, okay? And here, yeah, the Rise gets shown and he gets silver altered. Just be mindful, you just want to be in a 1v1 scenario, okay? So, um, just gonna stop here because that's a lot of things that I covered, but the most important thing is it's very obvious that the four death rise is a problem, but just that's the most crucial part of this game. Rise is one of our win condition, and if Rise has a lot more death into next game or next scrim that we have, then we should be in a lot more comfortable scenario. So, two things that we're going to talk about from this VOD review. One, Rise needs to communicate with the least what his lane status lane status like if he is trying to push that wave, and he needs to know where both Elise and Lee Sin's whereabouts. Number two, now the draft can change according to what priority we get against Nautilus, okay. So or we can stick to what we got, but we need to start respecting the level 1 and make sure that our TP cover and preventing the dive is a lot more cleaner. So at least not being able to get this Krug is a tempo loss. So maybe you could have pathed to this and go to top side and prevent the top dive. And maybe you can even leech a mid wave so that you can hit 3 a lot quicker. So that's another solution we could be having. Okay. The rest of the game, there are a lot of back and forth in this game, but if we do have a look at this game, um, yeah, we aren't the G2 aren't utilize G2 really needs Tamkench to hit level 11, then he can start pressuring onto the side. So potentially Caps uh, uh, soaking up mid experience, it might be bad for overall team like in a team situation. Okay. Um, but yeah, so that's all I really want to talk about because there's a lot more happening in this game. And I guess another big one would have been the fight around Dragon. You guys did really well playing around Vision. The Dragon fight were really amazing. I'll just touch on that, okay? Because it is also very important to note what we did really good and what we did bad. Okay, so they get Vision and okay, they got the air dragon. Okay, it's the water dragon before. Okay, yeah. So here, yeah. So we caught out the Thresh. We've spotted G2 spotted out the Lee Sin and Nautilus. So that's really good. translate into dragon. But the last dragon fight was where when everyone just died. Okay, so we should just be looking at what happened exactly. Yep, so it was infernal. Yes. Um, so we need to note, we need to emphasize, can we win a 5v5? Can we win a 5v5? If we pick someone, if their group lives to 5, probably not, because their team comp is team fighting comp, whereas G2's comp is more of a pick comp, Rise 1v1 split, and etc. Okay, so maybe we can win team fight if we get CC onto the right target, and we have at least Sonya's, at least Repel, Pike Escape, Tamkench Eat. So it'll be better next time that we focus on uh, everyone is on the same page, so we don't get mid priority here. But as soon as Sever altered, Pike can get out, but Tamkench can't. So Mickey just needs to flash out of here and maybe go for a fight around here, okay? Because they're still gonna chase this Varus and Elise. But this is a lost fight already, and this is when the game kind of booms, okay? Yeah. Okay. So next time, just talk about are we gonna go for 5v5 or are we just gonna focus on this Infernal? And everyone needs to know. Everyone, especially Caps, needs to tell Mickey, you can get out safely, and Mickey needs to position himself so that he's behind Varus. So when Varus does get CC'd, you can eat him up and be in a more much better position to fight. Okay, so fight is the most important thing in League of Legends right now. That's how the macro, that's how you rotate, and that's how you get pressure on the map. So yeah, so this isn't a very long review. It's more pointing out what's important and how I would be teaching my players. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.